Good afternoon. I'm Hendrik Lambert. I'm the Chief Medical Officer at Anaconda Biomed. We are a startup in Barcelona, Spain.
I'm Ofir Arad, co-founder of Anaconda Biomed and managing director. So Anaconda Biomed is dedicated to treat stroke. Stroke is the first cause of disability. And acute ischemic stroke, is due to a clot blocking a main cerebral artery. And this clot is always as big as the artery, while the catheter intended to retrieve the clot are always smaller than the artery. And the anaconda snake is able to swallow prey as bigger than itself, and our catheter also is able to extract clots that are bigger than itself.
The product is very simple. It's actually brought into the body through a catheter, a commercial catheter. And once we are ready to kind of grab the clot, the catheter is pulled slightly away, and then the mouth of the catheter is opening so that actually then the clot always fits nicely into the catheter. And so when the clot is inside the catheter, the physician is pulling then the funnel back, and that's how the clot is then extracted out of the body.
We are 23, a team of 23, and we are right now raising our Series C, 25 million euro.
And actually, in terms of clinical study, we got an approval from FDA to conduct a pivotal study. There will be a randomized study, multi-site, half in the US and half in Europe, 10 sites in the US and 10 sites in Europe.
In 2017, we raised our Series A, 15 millions, and in 2019, we raised 20 millions. And we also have a 10 million loan from the European Investment Bank. Today, we have a team with more than 130 years of experience in the management team. We have Dr. François Salmon, that has a lot of experience also in big companies and in a startup. We have Hendrik Lambert as Chief Medical Officer. We have Iñaki Galve in the R&D. We have Jordi Cardona in the operations. We have Juan Manuel Campos as a Regulatory and Quality Affairs Director.
Okay, one of the challenges is actually to get to the clinical data to satisfy FDA requirements. The regulatory requirements are increasing everywhere, mainly in Europe, but also in the United States. So we are now conducting a randomized clinical study of over 300 clinical patients. And the recruitment goes well, but indeed it is a very expensive study for the size of our company.
So for me, it's very important. Our first clinical trial, Solonda, we were dimensioned the clinical trial to demonstrate non-inferiority with 125 patients, and we demonstrated superiority with 74 patients. This is for our first generation. And with our second generation, we have like 35% increase in first pass effect versus our competitors.
So with the current generation, we almost double the success that the patient will have when we are taking out the clot out of the brain.
So we would like to find an investor a lead investor for our Series C's, and meet the other actors from the space.
And of course, it's a big honor to be part of that club, to be selected amongst all the candidate startup companies. We are developing the next generation for mechanical thrombectomy, so to get the clot out of the brain. And we are convinced that, we are increasing a lot on the effectiveness, but on top of that, our technology turns out to be very safe, because it's not so simple to bring technology in the brain. And our technology shows that it can be safe and very effective at the same time.
Yeah, we are going to the European market and the US market. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to perform a thrombectomy in the countries that are not prepared for that. So by now, we are going for a big developed countries.